What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Big Vol Opinion back with another live video. And tonight, y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. It's the State of the Culture, part 5, going down tonight. Hit that like button, hit that share button. And if you haven't already, sub to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so you be notified each and every time your boy Big Vol is going live. Topic of discussion tonight. We got R.Kelly, we got britteny griner, prison swap, exchange, Donald Trump, Bill Cosby. Man, the list goes on. But guess what? It's going down tonight, man. State of the culture, man. Let's address it. What up, sipping? Regulators, mount up. Hey, hit that like button as you come in. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Yeah. Get the likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Yeah. Yo. Uh. State of the culture. Part 5. We going live. What up, 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 what it do? It's your boy Big Vibe, man. We back with another live video tonight, man. Y'all know what's going down. It's the state of the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna address it. We're gonna talk about it, the way that we do when we talk about the state of the culture, man. As y'all see the topics of the night, we got topics anywhere from Brittany Griner prison swap to Donald Trump's opinion about Brittany Griner prison swap. Uh, we also have uh, Bill Cosby. We got R.Kelly news. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you already know, man. It should be a good night. It should be a good night. It should be a good night. I'm gonna ask the fans, ask the community what they want to start with. What y'all want to address first tonight? You know, we can address it the way that we got it. We can address it how it came to us. You know what I'm saying? We can address it the way that we got it. You know, it's all up to us, the people. We the people. You hear me? We can address it. We gonna address. You know, we got a lot of stuff to unravel. Um, Jay Towning, what's up? What's up? Let's address it, man. It's the state of the culture, man. It's the reason why we. It's the reason why we call it the culture. It's the culture for a reason, man. It's us. It's our people. Let's get it. Now, oh, okay. We starting off tonight. We're gonna starting off by addressing the United States. United States and Russia come to an agreement. United States and Russia come to an agreement to exchange prisoners. Let's see what they got to say about Brittany Griner.
Months in a Russian jail. WNBA star Brittany Griner is back here in the U.S. after spending nearly 10 months in a Russian jail. Griner arrived in San Antonio Friday morning. She had been sentenced to 9 years in a prison camp on drug charges. She was released after Washington and Moscow agreed to a prisoner swap involving a convicted arms dealer. Weida Zhang has the latest from the White House.
After a grueling stint in a Russian prison, doctors are evaluating Brittany Griner at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. She landed in Texas this morning.
She has been reunited with her wife, Sherelle. U.S. officials who met her on the ground said she was in very good spirits, appears to be in good health.
For the first time, a glimpse into Griner's life behind bars, doing hard labor and sleeping in a bed far too tiny for her 6'9" frame. Griner's lawyer told ESPN that she chopped off her signature dreads because it was so frigid, her hair froze. Marine veteran Paul Whelan, imprisoned in Russia since 2018 on what the U.S. calls sham espionage charges, was not part of the exchange, which freed convicted arms dealer Victor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death. Today, Vladimir Putin did not rule out more prisoner swaps, saying anything is possible. But Victor Bout was the highest profile prisoner we had. So what else do we have?
Well, we'll see. Actions, not words. So we heard what Mr. Putin said. Now let's see what he and his officials are willing to do to help us get Paul home.
A U.S. official tells CBS News that over the summer, Moscow proposed trading Whelan for a Russian assassin who is serving a life sentence in Germany, convicted of murder. The U.S. had no power to release the prisoner, and Berlin refused. Whelan's sister Elizabeth says President Biden called her, vowing not to leave him behind.
I don't look for apologies, I look for action. And I am willing to be very plain spoken about that. What I'm looking for is for us not to let 1 second, no grass grow under our feet over the next few weeks as we move forward, trying to figure out how to get Paul back.
And Ouija joins us now with more. Is there any update on when Brittany Griner will be able to go home and back to Phoenix?
Well, it really just depends on what doctors find during this long, lengthy evaluation, because as you can imagine, given what she's been through for the past several months, they're going to have to check not only her physical well-being, but her mental and emotional well-being as well. And that varies from person to person. So the White House tells us that, they hope that she won't have to stay longer than necessary, but certainly they are concerned about her and they want to make sure that she is ready to re-enter the world that she left, a very different world that she came from in Russia. And so we don't have an exact date. We can tell you that she is reunited with her wife, and U.S. officials say she seems to be in really good spirits. She seems to be in good health, but of course, what you see on the exterior does not always match what's actually going on. That's why doctors are taking so much care and time to really evaluate Griner.
President Biden says he's willing to do anything to bring the other hostage, Paul Whelan, home. Does that include a direct conversation with the Russian President Vladimir Putin?
The White House says that if President Biden thought that such conversation would have a positive outcome or a positive impact on Whelan's circumstances, that he would do what he felt he had to do. They added that right now that is not the case. And so the president is not going to engage with Putin. You may remember that he said the very same thing with regard to Brittany Griner when he was about to go to the G20 summit in November. He said that, look, if Putin wants to have a serious conversation about bringing her home, then I would consider talking to him. He ended up not going to that summit and ended up not showing any seriousness, at least not enough for the president to engage in a phone call. But the White House is being cautiously optimistic. They obviously heard what Putin said about the possibility of more prisoner swaps. They caution, though, that they have to see what he and his team does instead of just relying on those words. Catherine?
Ouija Zhang, thanks.
Share the joy.
Now it's crazy, man. They calling these they calling the prisoners that committed crimes hostages. No, that's crazy. They calling prisoners who committed crimes hostages, man. Can you make that up? Can you make sense of it? How do you call prisoners who have committed crimes, even though they may not be from that country, but they committed a crime in that country, and they are labeling them as hostages, man? That's crazy, right? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So they call this man a armed merchant. They released a WNBA basketball player, who got caught with a weed pen, I think. Sentenced to 9 years. They released her in exchange for murder, allegedly. I don't know. All this just seems so. All this seems just so funny. I mean, it just seems like it's a mockery, man. Like it's just like what the fuck? Like I'm trying to make sense of this. Yeah, this I don't know, man. Something ain't right. Something's going on that we're not seeing.
Wi-Fi guaranteed at
Now, we know that Donald Trump has been very vocal about Biden and things that Joe Biden has going on. So, uh, Donald Trump decided to speak on the situation with Brittany Griner.
Released from Russia after 9 months spent in a prison cell for bringing illegal drugs into the country. Nearly everyone with half a brain was pretty critical of Joe Biden, not because he brought Brittany Griner home, but because of who he gave up to make that happen. He gave up Victor Bout, a notorious arms dealer, basically the most highly coveted prisoner that we have for Russia. That's who we gave up, all to get WNBA star, American-hating Brittany Griner back home. While we left an American Marine, a former Marine, Paul Whelan, there. He is still in Russia. He's been there for over 4 years and will continue to be there because Joe Biden decided to prioritize Brittany Griner. Everyone's been critical of this, but you knew Donald Trump would also get his 2 cents in there, and he absolutely did. Donald Trump calls Joe Biden's prisoner swap for Brittany Griner a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment. Former President Donald Trump slammed Joe Biden's Brittany Griner prisoner swap as stupid and unpatriotic. Issuing the statement on Truth Social, Trump said the swap was a bad deal because Biden traded an ex-WNBA basketball star for notorious Russian arms dealer Victor Bout, one of the biggest arms dealer anywhere in the world. And we can go straight to Truth Social, actually, to take a look at Trump's statement. What kind of deal is it to swap Brittany Griner, a basketball player who openly hates our country, for the man known as, quote, the merchant of death, who's one of the biggest arms dealer anywhere in the world and responsible for tens of thousands of deaths and horrific injuries? It was convicted for trying to harm American citizens and will continue to try to harm American citizens and American interests now that he's been released. Why wasn't former Marine Paul Whelan included in this totally one-sided transaction? He would have been let out for the asking. What a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the United States of America. This is not the only person who's critical of this. It's not just like Donald Trump's bashing Biden. There's a ton of criticism from all around, even in the sports world, even from some sports commentators saying, you know, we're glad Brittany's home, but it's kind of sad that we left the Marine there. Let's really work on getting this Marine back. Paul Whelan's never coming home. We gave up our biggest bargaining chip, and all we got back was a pothead Brittany Griner who hates America, who doesn't want to stand for the national anthem. And let's be honest, the reason that Paul Whelan is still there is because he's white, because he's a man. Brittany Griner supposedly is a woman, and of course is black and openly gay. That's why Joe Biden and the Biden administration decided to prioritize her identity politics. And really, all the action from the woke WNBA, the woke sports media, all these people who are pushing for the release of Brittany Griner, they likely made it more difficult to get her back. They are probably the ones that made the asking price so high to get her back, to give up the biggest piece that we had to trade. And that's what we do. Donald Trump is not alone in this criticism, but his certainly is going to be very, very loud and directed solely at Joe Biden and this Biden administration. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Man, what is really going on, man? What is really going on? What's up, Tina? But moving right along. Seems like they're not gonna let Bill Cosby uh just live out his life. Seems as though they're not gonna let Bill Cosby live out his life, man. Here we go again. Once again, they spin the block back again. They back at Bill again. Now this is like the second or third time that it came at Bill since he's been released. This is like their second or third time coming at Bill since he's been released. Bill Cosby accused of sexually assaulting five more women in new lawsuit. Some had minor roles in the Cosby Show at the time. Oh man, boy, I can't make this up. I can't make this up. We can't make this up. I don't just say I can't. We can't make this up. I mean, right when you think shit's about to die out and just go away, it pops right back up. I guess they feel like, oh, you all might beat us in the court system, but we're gonna keep coming. When it comes to in the court, when it comes to going to prison, we gonna find a way to get that money out of y'all, one way or the other. This is one of those situations. You know, Bill Cosby, man, the man should be free. I mean, well, he is free. The man should not be worried about these lawsuits and shit coming across his desk after he done served his time. He got his conviction overturned. This man should be just being able to live his life in retirement. But you know, they like to try to drain their well until it runs dry. So to these new five new accusers, we not buying it. We not buying it. Hopefully it's not for sale. We don't want it. We don't agree with it. Okay, moving right along. No, we ain't gonna be here long. We just addressing it and knocking it out the way. We all know what happened to this guy right here. Michael Avenatti found guilty, sentenced to 14 years in prison uh on top of the 5 year sentence that he already served. Okay. Uh, got Mike Avenatti sentenced to 14 years in prison for stealing millions of dollars from clients. The sentence handed down by federal district judge James will begin after Avenatti completes a 5-year prison term in let's see. So Avenatti he got to complete his 5 year sentence that he's already serving before he even starts his 14-year sentence. So he got a little while to sit down. He might well grab him a sneaker. He's not going anywhere for a while. Okay. Also, Michael Avenatti is ordered to pay over $10 million in restitution to Stormy Daniels and other clients that he represented, that he stole from them as well. I mean, don't mess with R. Don't mess with Chaos. Which I went over this earlier today. If y'all didn't catch my live earlier, make sure y'all go back and catch that live from earlier. Watch the replay. Listen very closely. Lot of good information. Lot of good information. We got people out here